Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today's Sunday is December the 11th. So I hope you're having a great weekend so far. It's just getting in the Christmas mood. Holiday season is with us, and I don't know about you, but our town is being transformed with sparkling lights. You know, it's kind of in the dark of winter. It's this beautiful time of year when lights are shining, people are eating food together. Over here in Switzerland, they drink this drink called glue wine. It's spiced wine. It's mulled wine. We have other parts of the world as well, but here it's a real tradition. And you don't drink it in your home. No, the best place to drink it is out in the open air where it's freezing cold and, the breath is sort of frosty from your mouth. And you sit there with your hands, wrapped around this warm glass of mulled wine with your scarf and hat on and, and chat with your friends. It's just a thing you do. You don't sit at home, in the warm house drinking glue wine. It's out in the winter cold. So maybe you've got some traditions in your town or city that you'd like to share. Whatever your beliefs are this time of the year, I just think it's a nice time to get together with friends and family and just appreciate the seasons and the hope for a new year. There's new things coming in 2017. Hope you've got some really wonderful things planned. But anyway, I'm having my cup of tea inside this morning. I decided to buy this little collection. It's a Buddha box. And it's got all kinds of very fascinating bio teas, so they're good for you too. This one today is it's green tea with mint. Green tea and mint. And it's nice. It's very good. So hope you've got a cup of tea or coffee, and let's keep warm in our houses this morning and just have a little opportunity to get caught up. And on this Sunday, maybe talk about something that we can all do today. Something we can all share today. Now, I, like a lot of women in our community, love to read. I've always been a very avid reader. I remember when I was a little girl, I would literally go through one book after the other. I would finish one and then I would literally reach out my hand for the next one. And I used to read all those crazy books, the Nancy Drew series and the Bobbsey twins. Do you remember any of those? I'm sure you had your favorites as well, but I love to read, always have. And now as I've gotten older, there was a period, where I had my children that I didn't get to read too much. Magazines, I could maybe grab a story or two. And of course now online we have so much content, but I still like to curl up on a cold day or any day with a cup of tea and a novel. Or maybe I'll just grab my headphones and go walk in the park and, listen to an audiobook on, psychology or history or, something interesting that's, just challenging. Sometimes language. I sometimes do my language practice when I'm walking, listening to an audiobook. And other times, I'll just sit on a bus or train with a little paperback and, just read a kind of fantasy story, an escape story. So, there's lots of different ways to read. And, I like to get your thoughts on this too as we go along. Please share your favorite books and your favorite way of reading books online or the real book. Bernadette, by the way, one of our women who joins us almost every day, hi Bernadette, if you're there, suggested that we do this, that we talk about books and our favorite books, since it seems to be something that in our community a lot of women like to do. So, in fact, a few months ago, we did actually reach out to the community and ask people about their preferences for books. And I asked the question, what do you like to read? And of course, I expected to get lots of, bestsellers from the New York Times bestseller list or, classic fiction books, things, that I would recognize. But I got so many interesting recommendations. And, well, of course, it reminded me, first of all, how amazing our community is, just how completely diverse and unique we are. And how much, we've been shaped by our history, by our culture, by the places that we live, the situations that we've had in our lives that have led us, to have interests in certain topics. And so the answers were pretty crazy. And they were just a collection of titles, some were really popular, as you'd expect. Some were movies, that had been turned from a book to a movie that sort of had that multi-dimension. And then others were completely brand new ones I'd never heard before. So what I'd love to do is take a few minutes now to just go through this list of books that women in our community a few months ago said that they loved, and see whether you've read them and whether you enjoyed them, And if you've got something that you're either reading right now or that you've recently read that really had an impact on your life, and let's just share notes. And in the comment section below, you can, just kind of share your thoughts and your interpretations. This is really good for the brain, by the way. We talked about this a few days ago, that, when you share something that you're reading or watching with a community, you get two things. One is you get community social engagement, which is super good for your health and your brain. And the other is you get to think about things differently. And so perhaps someone's reading a book that you've never heard of, or on a topic that doesn't really interest you at all, but you think, wow, that's a curious topic. Let me pick that up and take a look. So let's see how we go. Here are the ones that were listed as favorite books by our community a few months ago. The Rosie Project, Red Tent, Little Black Lies. I don't know I've heard of those three, but I don't know anything about them. I haven't read them. Girl on a Train. Now, I did read this one myself, and yeah, it was a very interesting book, unusual approach, and I thought the theme was very good. I also saw the movie, and that's always an interesting thing. You go to a movie having read the book, it's completely, or at least your perceptions have been formed, and then they're shifted. But anyway, the movie was pretty good too. The Man Who Lived to Be 100. I've heard of that one. Just Mercy. The Book Thief. I read that one, and I enjoyed that a lot. Maybe you read it and have a point of view too, but The Book Thief was one. The Traitor's Wife was on this list. Outlander. I should have put this one a little bit further up the top. This isn't in any order of preference, by the way, but this book came up all the time. I've never read it. I have no idea why it's so attractive to women in our age group. But there's a series, I think, an Outlander series, and I think it's a science fiction book. I'm not really sure. Perhaps you can enlighten me on that book, The Outlander. And then The Little Paris Bookshop. And I think, honestly, anything with the word Paris in it intrigues us. But this one I haven't read, but I'm told it's very, very good. So have you read it? The Little Paris Bookstore? And so beyond that, there were so many that I hadn't read or heard of again. And there were some classics, like The Four Agreements, Miracle Mornings. These are motivational books. The Little Girl in the Radiator. Never heard of it, but it was up there on the top. The Dove Keepers. I had read a review of this book, and it was supposed to be very good, but The Dove Keepers. And then another one that was mentioned quite a bit was The Swan House. So those are some. These are very, to me, very unusual books that I have not heard of myself, but perhaps you've read them all. Maybe you're one of those readers that just keeps up to date on all kinds of new books. And one final thing I wanted to mention is to pay attention to books that your family and your friends recommend, because that can give you a real insight into who they are, into what's important to them, how they see the world. And also the characters in these books sometimes can be like them, can be someone that they resonate with, someone that they identify with, which is why they love the book. So when someone says, oh, you have to read this book, or they write it down for you because they will really want you to read it, go ahead and read it. Try. I mean, you may not get through it all. You may only read the first chapter or two if you can get it from the library or online. But give it a go, because this has happened to me several times with my sons when they were younger and even more recently. And these are stories where they said, Mom, you've got to read this book. It's really something that I loved, and I think they say, I think you'll enjoy it. Whether you do or not doesn't matter. What matters is they did. So anyway, that's just a thought to consider when someone makes a recommendation. If it doesn't sound like you, maybe it tells you something about them. So I'm really, really excited today to hear your feedback on books. I'm actually looking for some Christmas reading, some holiday reading, so I'm going to look for your suggestions. What's your favorite book of all time? What are you reading now? So I'd love to leave that question with you. What's your favorite book of all time? Or your books, you can name a few. Or what is the book you're reading right now? And share your comments in the section below. We'll have a conversation, and I really look forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow on Mornings with 60 and Me. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.